Hello, and welcome to CITV Today. I'm Tina Evans. A few weekends ago, Bermuda participated in the 2016 Global Fishackathon. Over a single weekend, hackathons, or fish hackathons, were held worldwide, and they gathered people from different fields to find solutions for overfishing. Fish hackathons were held under the auspices of the US State Department. And here today in studio, I have Mary Ellen Koenig, the US Consul General to Bermuda. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to Bermuda. Now you've been here less than a year?
Less than a year, almost 8 months.
Yeah, but you've been busy.
We've been busy. We've been
I
very
opened
busy.
the paper, I saw you were doing something with the library, with women, entrepreneurs.
We're trying to be active and trying to be engaged citizens here in Bermuda. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, good. Well, welcome to Bermuda.
Thank you.
Hope you're enjoying it.
Very much.
So you brought to us a fish hackathon.
A Fishackathon. Yeah.
All right, you've got to explain what a fish hackathon is.
It's kind of a funny name, I know that. When I was out talking to some of the schools about Fish Hackathon, I asked the kids, "Now, what is a Fish Hackathon?" And one little boy raised his hand and said, "You hack up fish?" And I said, "No, not quite, but." So a hackathon is when programmers or coders get together and try to solve problems. They think outside the box and look at challenges and try to come up with creative solutions to challenges. And this is specifically aimed at computer programmers and coders and people who work with technology. So the Fish Hackathon is trying to invite these people with those technical skills to address some of the challenges facing our oceans around the world. So the Fish Hackathon takes place around the world on Earth Day weekend. This is the third year it's happening. The State Department has sponsored it. So for the first time, we thought Bermuda should take part because the oceans all around us here.
Yeah. Absolutely, we should be a part of it.
Yes.
So other countries, how many other countries were
There
involved?
were over 40 this year. It started
Wow.
3 years ago with just 5 American cities taking part. And last year it went up to 12 with a few more international cities taking part. This year it went over 40, about 42 participating, including Bermuda.
Yeah. What's the interest? I mean, outside of the fact that, yes, we're surrounded by the ocean, we've got to care for our environment, what's the interest for coders?
Well, for them it's a challenge. I mean, you present these people with a challenge saying, how can we solve this problem? Whatever the problem is, how would you come up with a device and application to address this problem? So for them it's a challenge. There are prizes involved. The global winner will get a $20,000 grant to make the application, real, to take it full scale. And then there's a second $10,000 prize. We had some local prizes here in Bermuda, but I think what really drives many of these people is they've been given a challenge and they've got skills to solve these challenges. And these are really severe challenges around the world in terms of impacting our oceans. We're talking about overfishing. We're talking about regulations, making sure fishermen understand regulations. We're talking about invasive species. So there are lots of different challenges that they could work on.
Yeah, and of course, here in Bermuda, we've been so focused on the lionfish and as well. That's interesting because to bring people together to talk about, I mean, these people are, they're programmers, they're IT, they're development, and you just don't see them as being concerned about the fishing in the ocean.
Well, but again, I think they like to be challenged, and the idea that they're tied to hackers around the world who are addressing the same challenges. I mean, it's a real incentive to get together, and I know just watching our groups working here, they were learning from each other and exchanging ideas. So for them, it's a real networking opportunity too.
So it's a weekend.
It is a weekend.
They're globally put together.
Yes.
Talk about the weekend. Tell
Sure.
us
So
about
it started on a Friday night, again tied to Earth Day, and everybody was given the challenges just an hour before it started, so there was a level playing field.
So when you say, hold on, when you say challenges, you mean like a question or something?
9 challenges were laid out about problems around the world, challenges that we have in terms of sustaining our oceans and overfishing and all the different things that go into environmental problems with the oceans, pollution. So the challenges were presented to them, and then they broke up into teams and started thinking about what challenges they would like to address. And then they started working on it. They had all weekend, so by Sunday afternoon, they had to have developed an application that would address whatever the challenge was and then present it to a panel of judges so that we could look at their work. And the winning team from Bermuda went on to compete with all the other teams around the world.
Around the world, wow. How many participants did you have?
We had 28 registered for the event. Not that many showed up. In the end, we had 3 teams that presented winning challenges.
That's very good.
It was great.
For the first time
it was
around.
great.
And I mean, it really is thinking totally out of the box. It's bringing that skill set, that IT set to
Exactly.
how can we take care of the ocean that surrounds us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Were you pleased with the winners?
Very
Tell us
pleased.
a little bit.
Very pleased with the winners, but also the support we got here in Bermuda. It was terrific. We had a steering committee made up of a number of people from government, from e-commerce, from the conservation department, other government agencies. We had NGOs involved. BIOS was involved. The BAMS was involved, the aquarium and zoo. So we had great support from a lot of people to help us put it together. It's because we needed the scientific background too to help steer the teams, because they don't necessarily have the
They don't
science.
have that science,
But we
right.
had lots of people who were there as mentors and to explain the challenges. We also got great corporate support from around Bermuda to put the event on. So Abir was our top supporter, but we had other corporations that helped us out with making it happen. So it was terrific. And then the winning teams, I was so impressed. I mean, the challenges were tough. I have to say, they were very tough. So I personally couldn't have done them, I don't think. But looking at these people, so our winner was a professional programmer, and he developed a program that would help fishermen figure out what waters they were in, so they could read. If they moved into marine protected areas, they would see that on the application and say, "Oh, got to get out of that." Or they would be in a particular area and figure out that there were regulations on the size of fish that could be caught, or things that couldn't be caught. So all that would be in one application to help local fishermen sort of keep safe, keep it good.
What a great app.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
What a great app. Yeah. And then some of the other winners?
Well, we have some young men who I think are going to talk about their project, and they
later.
were looking at what's called ghost gear. I'll let them talk about it, but it's really about pollution, fishing gear that gets lost, and it's amazing. I had no idea before we went into this, but it's a big problem in terms of impact on fish and just pollution in the ocean.
Yeah. Well, you know, Ms. Koenig, it was a natural fit, though, when you think about it, for Bermuda to be a part of the Fishackathon. A really natural fit, especially when you talk about what actually came out of the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too.
And I think next year,
We're hoping to do it again. I think we learned a lot from this first time, and the challenge for us is reaching out to those programmers and those coders who have the technical skills to participate.
And the fact that you have some of our students that were there, yay!
Yeah, and they were
I can't wait.
You'll be very impressed by them. We were very impressed by them.
Good,
It
good.
was great.
Wonderful. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
explaining Fishackathon.
Sure.
And it certainly is a natural fit for Bermuda.
I think so, too.
And thank you for caring about the ocean that surrounds us.
Thank you, Tina.
Mary Ellen Koenig, the US Consul General here in Bermuda. We'll be right back. We're going to keep talking about this whole concept of Fishackathon. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 3rd annual Fishackathon. I want to congratulate the Department's Office of Global Partnerships for once again bringing this event together. And I want to thank the Virgin Group for providing the grand prize this year. I'm also very grateful for the generous support that we've received from the host facilities and partners, aquariums, tech hubs, embassies, universities, and others. You've all been terrific. And most of all, I want to thank all of you for your time and your willingness to get involved. The first Fishackathon brought together innovators in 5 cities across the US. And last year, that grew to 12 cities in a handful of different countries. This year, more than 40 cities on 6 different continents are hosting Fishackathon events. The growing global reach of this event is exciting. It's also important, and probably it's no surprise to all of you. The threats to our planet's fisheries have to concern all of us. Just think about it. More than 7 billion people on our planet, and a significant chunk of us rely on fish as a major source of protein every single day. And protecting fish stocks is not just important in terms of food security, it's vital in terms of economic security, especially in coastal areas. 10 to 12% of the world's population depends on fisheries and aquaculture for their livelihoods. And the vast majority of those people are employed by small-scale fishing outfits that struggle in the face of overfishing, illegal fishing, pollution, and other threats to marine life. So today, we are looking to you, coders, designers, innovators of all different backgrounds, to help out by applying your unique skills to these critical challenges. Last year, volunteers at Fishackathon events created mobile apps to display fishing laws and regulations based on a user's location, apps to teach children about sustainable fishing through interactive games, apps to report marine mammal protection concerns, and more. And this year, we have a whole new set of problems that scientists and industry experts have submitted in hopes that you'll be able to help. So we look forward to the results and to working with you to see the very best of your ideas implemented in order to benefit sustainable fisheries and the communities that they support. So I want you to know you are joining a worthy cause, and if past years are any indication at all, you're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Thanks again to all of you for taking time to participate and for volunteering your energy and your talent. Believe me, it can make a difference. Good luck and code on.
And we're back, this time with Dr. Joanna Pitt from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, which was formerly known as, I thought it was Conservation Services. Is that correct?
Well, actually, Department of Environment and Natural Resources is an amalgamation of the former Department of Conservation Services and the Department of Environmental Protection,
Okay.
which brings, a bunch of different environmental services for the government together in one department
In
now.
one department. Makes sense. It's good. And it was as of April
That's
1st.
as of April 1st this year, yes.
Yeah. What it was important, I guess, to partner on this first ever fish hackathon with the US Consul General's office. Tell me about it. How was it for you to be a part of this party?
Well, there were actually a number of different government departments involved. So there were people from the natural resources side, because obviously they wanted our input from a fisheries perspective and environmental concerns. But then there was also Department of E-commerce and the small business department, whatever.
EDC,
there we go.
Yeah, they were involved as well. Yeah. So your role was to explain the 9 questions, challenges to these coders. Was that it?
Yeah. So basically, when the State Department put the concept of the Fish Hackathon out there, fisheries managers and NGOs were invited to submit proposals for the challenges that would be presented to the hackers. The State Department chose 9 of them, but obviously those proposals are written in kind of science speak by scientist-type people, which often gets a bit wordy and technical. So the role of the presenters was to kind of break those challenges down into something that
Coders.
non-scientists could relate to, and to, I guess, make people more aware of the issues in the first place, but then also get them inspired to take them on.
Yeah, because I said that to Ms. Koenig. I was like, what would make coders, IT kind of folks that think on a wholly different spectrum, to be interested in fisheries and the sea around us? But she said it was the challenges that they were presented.
Yeah, so I mean, our role, I guess, was to get across the importance of some of these challenges. Some people may have never heard of any of them, and yet in Bermuda, we are surrounded by the ocean, and we're probably more familiar with some of them. People that I think you're going to be talking to next were inspired by the Ghost Fishing Gear Challenge, which is something a lot of Bermudians are aware of. You go to the beach, you see bits of fishing net or bits of plastic fishing gear washed up on the beach. And so the focus of that particular challenge was, if anybody finds this stuff, we need something that can help them identify it, and then they can submit that to the global databases, who can then trace it back to the fishery that it came from in the first place, and then sort of whether it's an environmental group or the fisheries managers, they can work with that fishery to try and reduce the loss of gear at the source so that it's then not floating off into the ocean and, killing wildlife and creating other marine debris issues.
What were some of the other challenges that really kind of apply to us here in Bermuda? Certainly the ghost, what is it called?
Ghost fishing gear.
Right, ghost fishing. But what were some of the other challenges presented?
Well, I mean, some of the challenges seemed like they were quite specific. Others were kind of framed more broadly. But in actual fact, the problems are global problems. And so you can apply it in some way to, any location, really. There were, challenges relating to identifying fish catch and trying to take the information from somebody who goes fishing and sort of translate that in an easy way to the people that are trying to collect the data and improve the management. And so there were challenges involving take a photo of what you caught and email it off and have some software kind of figure out exactly what it was and how big it was, and then spit the information out for the managers to use in their calculations. So there were a couple of things that were focused on that sort of thing, which is important for managers everywhere.
Yeah, how about fish stocks, overfishing, all these things we hear about in Bermuda, I think.
So basically something like that feeds into fisheries management by getting more information to the managers so that they can see which fish are being caught the most. If suddenly the information that's coming in shows smaller fish are being caught for a certain species, then you can think, perhaps we need some more regulations for that species, things like that. So it all sort of translates.
And isn't that cool? Because she was saying that the gentleman that won, he won based on an app that helps fishermen say where the protective areas are, different things like that. And they can also send you through that app the information about the fish that they found.
They're all different ones. So that particular app was focused actually on the Philippines that have lots of national and then regional and then local regulations. So fishermen don't have a lot of access to that sort of stuff. They don't have all the GPS navigation stuff that people here are used to having. So a little app on your phone that tells you where you are, and then it's interactive and pops up the regulations that you have to abide by when you're in that particular spot is great.
It's a cool app.
And so what the winner did with his particular app was he sort of did a demo, but used all the fisheries regulations that we have in Bermuda and the mapping that we have to sort of create a structure that shows that his program works. But then anybody in any other place can take that structure and put their own information into it, and all of a sudden they can do it too.
It's a really great concept. You plan to be involved next year? Think we should do it again?
I hope that the State Department decides to sponsor it again, and I certainly hope that Bermuda has the opportunity to participate in it again.
I'm going to talk with two young men who won second place.
They were awesome.
Yeah. How'd that make you feel? I'm sure very proud to see these young coders coming to the table.
It was amazing. Yeah. It's I guess one other thing that I took away from the weekend was, you think of Bermuda being small, and, I guess we don't really, how can we compete? We don't really have that big of a tech community, but it's bigger than most people realize, bigger than I realized. But also, it's definitely there's professionals out there, but there's so many young people out there with they're really talented, and that was amazing for me to see those guys get stuck into it and produce something really great by the end of it. I was so impressed.
Good. Dr. Joanna Pitt, give greetings to everyone at the new Department of Environment and Natural Resources for us. Please tell your colleagues, come on back and talk with us about some of the great things that you're doing as well. All right? Glad you were part of the Fishackathon. Now we're going to meet those two young men. We'll be right back. I want to meet them. I really do. We'll be back to talk more about the Fishackathon.
The Department of Environmental Protection would like to remind members of the public that illegal fishing acts as outlined in the fisheries legislation, including exceeding daily catch limits for regulated fish species, can be penalized by fines of up to $50,000. Persons who witness illegal fishing activities are encouraged to report those offenses to the department on their fisheries hotline, 705-FISH.
That's 705-FISH.
or email fishtips@gov.pm. For more information on the fisheries legislation, go to www.gov.pm and search under the publication section of the Department of Environmental Protection. This message is brought to you by the Government of Bermuda, the Ministry of the Environment, Planning and Infrastructure Strategy.
And now we're back with two of the winners, and I've been excited to meet you both from Summersfield Academy, Cairo Morning, and Yassine. Did I said it right? And give me your last name, darling.
Chantouf.
Chantouf. Yassine Chantouf and Cairo. Summersfield Academy, what year?
I'm an M3.
I'm an M4.
Wow. And you are official coders.
I code most of the time, and he does a lot of the designing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was our team, which was he did all of the coding. I did some coding, which is basically inputting the numbers, but mainly I designed the website and I did the research and things like that.
Okay, you all have just lost me. Now come back. What do you mean you code and what do you mean you design? Talk to us. Take it down to the very minimum level for me.
So what I do basically is I write the instructions that the computer has to follow, that the program or the app has to follow in order to complete the task that we are given. So we did the Ghoster. So I created the instructions to tell the app, like, when you see these numbers, do this, or when you see this thing, do this.
Okay.
And what I did was I designed what it will look like. And I also did research saying that this net is this. It's a bait net or it's a trawl net. And I did the input, which I put in the actual numbers.
Yeah, that's amazing, you guys. I mean, you know you guys are like smart, right? You got that, right? Okay. All right. Tell me this. What made you think about, because you've got the skill set, is obviously something you do at school or on the side?
More on the side.
More on the side, yeah. So when I'm home, if I have free time, I'll try and code a different app, try and come up with a new problem for a challenge. Like sometimes I'll just go around school and ask people, like, what do you need help with just in school or just different things in general, and then see what I can use my technology skills to do that for.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And for me, I draw a lot, and I also know some base level coding, so I was able to help him sometimes. But so I do a lot of design stuff. I like things to look good.
Okay.
And so I do design, and I'm also knowledgeable, so I was able to help with research and things like that.
Okay. So your design, when you're saying design, it's more the visual.
The visual, and also I put in a lot of the numbers as well, and I know more about the nets because I did the research as well.
Okay. So spare time, this is what you do. How about summers? Have you gone to any camps or anything like that?
For me, a few summers ago, I went to a CTY Innovations Camp away in San Diego, California. I believe I was 9 at the time. However, normally, since the camps that are going on in the summertime, I am a little more advanced in those camps, so I stay home and I work on stuff on my own.
Yeah, cool.
And for me, I do CTY, and I do writing courses, which is basically, the course I did last year was Introduction to Logic, which is arguing, which is something I'm good at and that I enjoy. And what I'm doing this year is crafting the essay. So we both do CTY.
Excellent. All right, so what brought you to Fishackathon? What a cool name. When you heard about it, you thought you could actually bring something to the table. You just went because what do you call coders, hackers?
So I code software development.
Right, okay.
I like to think of myself as more of a hacker, and that's not only within the realm of programming. A hacker is anyone who finds a new way to do something.
Yeah.
And so I think
All
that's
right,
what I do.
folks, you understand. Hacker is the person that finds a new way to do something. All right, I appreciate that. All right, so you went there for the weekend. What was that like? I mean, were you the only students there?
No, there was one other team, but they eventually had to drop out since their computer broke. But yeah, we were the only group there, and we were the group who stayed there the longest. We did all the hours, unlike most other groups. So it was, the hours were on Friday from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m., and then on Sunday from 8 a.m. to
About 6.
About 6.
Yeah.
And then you wrapped up.
Yeah.
Was it an interesting, it's a global outreach. So did you hear from other folks around the world?
Well, at the beginning, they had the Twitter page up, so anybody who posted with #Fishackathon, we would see their posts. So we were able to read some of the other posts, and I put one post up as well. And so that was cool to be able to see, oh, the Fish Hackathon in Taiwan is doing this right now, or they just kicked off, things like that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Now, what challenge did you guys select?
So we selected the Ghost Gear Challenge that Joanna talked about.
The Ghost Gear Challenge. Yeah.
Yes. So for that, we had to create an app that would be able to identify ghost gear, any type of ghost gear. We chose fishing nets because those we thought were very common, and we had a lot of information on those already in our Fish Hackathon packets. So we chose that challenge, and we decided to create a app for Windows computers that could complete the specifications of that challenge.
And basically what Ghost Gear is big fishing boats will sometimes lose or even throw overboard gear. And we focused on nets because it was easier to focus on something specific rather than something broad. But basically, these nets keep fishing. And so they will keep killing these fish, which is not only bad for the environment because they don't decompose properly, so they release harmful toxins, but it's also bad economically because these fish aren't being eaten, they're not being sold, they're just dying because of these nets. And Bermuda's in the middle of this big gyro, this big current, and basically a lot of ocean waste washes up on our shores. So what we did is, if you're walking on the beach and you find a net, you can go home, measure it with calipers, which is the most precise measuring tool, and then upload what you found within 3 input boxes on our website.
Our app.
So
our app basically took a database that we created and it matched the numbers you put in against that database to tell you where the net came from and what it's used for.
Okay. Like, well, not a barcode kind of thing, but
No, it's like, so you
literally
measure and then you just type in like
You
numbers.
type in,
It's like 3 numbers. Like,
yeah, and then it'll search the database for which net it is, and if it couldn't find that net, it'll say, the message will pop up saying, sorry, we couldn't find this, and then it'll show you the other options that it could have been.
Yeah, our time is running a little short, but I want to know this. You guys have been through the weekend. You did it. You won. You came second place, and very well done. Congratulations to you both. Would you recommend it for next year for someone else?
yeah, other people who are getting into it, even like if you just like doing environmental science in school and stuff like that, you could still get into it because you could partner with like another coder like myself or somebody else who was there.
This is what we did.
Yeah, because you use your skill sets.
Yeah.
One on one end, one on the other, and you brought that together. Yeah. Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Fish Hackathon. So you'll be back next year? You'll be in
Probably,
senior year. Wait, well, who's going to be in senior year?
So
Well,
he's
I'm already in senior year.
Okay.
One thing that's cool about us, we both skipped a grade.
Oh, cool.
So I'm already in senior year, and he's in his last year of middle school.
Okay.
So he's in S1 and I am in M3.
M3.
Yeah.
But so you think you'll do it next
Yeah,
year?
I'll definitely do it next year if it is.
And then you'll be thinking out of the box between now.
Yeah.
Swimming all summer, boating all summer. You'll be thinking all kinds of different things that you can do apps for. Yeah, that's really, really cool, guys. Excellent job. Well done.
Thank you.
And I want other folks to consider getting involved as well. Your parents must be extremely proud of you, because I am. Tell me your parents' name.
Scott Morton and Rio Morton.
Yeah, very nice.
Najib Shentouf and Mariam Biadila.
Yeah, beautiful. Parents, they're amazing. Thank you to the US Consul General, to the new Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Summersfield Academy, 2 kids to be very proud of, and we thank you. Fish Hackathon 2016, a success. Look out for 2017. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.